and welcome to my channel. My name is Andrea, and today I am sharing 2 thrift store flips where I'll be taking pieces I found at the thrift store and making them over, giving them a much more modern look. So let's get started. For this thrift flip, I'll be making over this lantern I got for $4 at the thrift store. To start, I'm going to paint the whole lantern black using this black spray paint. Right away, this looks so much better. I did a few coats of the spray paint to get into all the corners. I also cleaned the lantern before painting it because it was pretty dirty and dusty. I'll then be creating a design to etch onto the glass using this glass etching cream from Dollar Tree. I'm uploading a design I found on Google into Cricut Design Space, and I'm adjusting the size to fit the glass pane of the lantern. But I found that if I tried to make it the exact size, it warped the design. So instead, I adjusted the design so it was the correct height. Then I'm adding a rectangle over top that is the exact size of the glass pane. And now I'm selecting both the rectangle and the design and clicking slice. Now I can delete the rest and I'm left with the rectangular design. I'm now going to cut this out onto some vinyl with my Cricut. I'm using the Dollar Tree vinyl for this, and since I'm using this as a stencil, I want to weed out the parts that I want etched onto the glass. And this is a very delicate, so just go slow with your weeding tool and be careful not to pull up any other parts of the vinyl. I'm now peeling off a piece of this Dollar Tree transfer tape and placing it over top of the vinyl. Someone did give me a tip to put the transfer tape onto a shirt or pants to remove some of the stickiness, making it easier to use. And I forgot to do that here, but I have tried it and I did think it helped. Now it's time to peel off the backing of the transfer tape. This part is a little tricky. I'm using my weeder tool and the scraper to help peel it off. Now I'm placing the glass onto the vinyl and pressing down with my scraper tool. And now it's time to peel off the transfer tape. I added painter's tape to the back of the glass to protect it from the etching cream. I did not use painter's tape on this glass panel, and you can see some etching cream got onto the back of the glass, mostly around the sides and in the corners. Whenever you're using etching cream, make sure to wear gloves because it is an acid. Give it a shake first, then pour it onto the glass. I'm spreading it around with a paintbrush and I'm making sure to put on a thick, even layer. The first time I tried this, I didn't know how much cream to put on and I ended up not putting on enough. I've only ever worked with this etching cream from Dollar Tree and I find it's better to put on a lot and cover the whole thing. The instructions on the Dollar Tree etching cream say to leave it on for 15 to 30 minutes, then rinse it off. I left mine on for the full 30 minutes, then wiped off the excess with the paintbrush and rinsed off the rest with water. Now I'm peeling off all the little vinyl pieces. I left my gloves on for this because there were some remnants of the etching cream on the glass and I just wanted to be careful. As you peel off the vinyl, you can start to see the design coming through, which is fun. And now I'm peeling off the painter's tape. On the left is the panel I did without putting the painter's tape on the back, and on the right is the one I did use the tape on. And you can see some of the etching cream did still get on the back around the edges on the panel on the right, but I think it's much better than the one that didn't have any tape. This is the kind of thing that takes practice, and I think every time you work with it, it does get easier. My advice would be to be more careful than you think you need to be and take time when you're putting on the etching cream. I only did the etching on 2 of the 4 glass panels just to save time, but you could do them on all 4 sides if you wanted. Today I am participating in a thrift store flip collab hosted by my friend Sandra with DIYs at the Schwowen's Nest. 6 of us have created some fun thrift store flip DIYs for you, so be sure to click the link to the playlist in my description box to check them out. For my next thrift store flip, I'm going to be making over this basket I got for 50 cents at the thrift store. I wanted to take it from traditional to a more modern look. For this DIY, I'm going to be using this white spray paint along with some black acrylic paint and some painter's tape. To start with, I painted the whole basket white. This took several coats to get everything covered. I'm now taking the black acrylic paint and painting the trim of the basket. I also paint the handles black later on to match because I thought it looked much better with the whole top of the basket being black. It does take some time getting everything covered with the black paint just because it's a wicker basket and there's lots of grooves and bumps and spaces. So what I'm doing with the paintbrush is kind of dipping it into the paint and then pressing it onto the basket and trying to get into all those grooves as much as possible. For the bottom rim, I wanted to try and make more of a clean line, so I added a strip of painter's tape, then painted the bottom section of the basket black. I didn't actually find this made much of a difference having the tape there versus not having it on the top of the basket, but it was nice to not have to paint as carefully. When I took the painter's tape off, I thought the strip of paint was a little too thin, so I'm going back over with the paintbrush and adding more black paint. To create a modern design on the basket, I'm taking the same paintbrush and painting an arrow shape or V's across the whole basket. I'm not making these lines super dark because I like seeing a bit of the white showing through. Like I said before, I'm going over the handles with the black paint, and I think this helps make it a little bit more modern. Please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to check out my description box for the link to the playlist with all the other thrift store flip videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.